Hey there. I don't know why that song. Well, I heard that playing through the house earlier today, and I just thought, wow, that's a pretty cool tune. I got to remember it. It came out, it was 1971, I believe. A band in the United States that was kind of considered pretty much a one-hit wonder. They had a few other hits in Canada. That was Five-Man Electrical Band, but later covered by, not covered very. Don't get judgmental, Neil. It is October 25th. I'm getting ready for it. I've been playing a lot lately, and just to brush up on old tunes. Last week I showed you my potential set list. Well, now we have a lot of people planning on playing tomorrow, and so I'm probably going to end up playing about 10 songs over the 3 hours rather than any of the 40 I had in there. I was getting a little tired from practicing too much. I was kind of like beating up my thumb because of playing so many fun songs. I got back to using my thumb pick, and it really is cool for a lot of stuff. I guess I'm going to start that. Anyway, it makes it easier to mute bass notes when you're trying to do something like Angie, and but it also saved wear and tear on my fingers. So what have I been playing lately? I've been brushing up on, I think I told you a little bit about this. Today I'm going to wrap up some stuff on intervals a little bit later, and some other little bit of geography stuff that I want everybody to be paying attention to, or that might help. We'll see. But yeah, I've been brushing up on some of my old didn't work so well. Let's try something different. really old standby. That was, of course, the last steam engine train, kind of a hybrid version of how Leo Kottke played it. Of course, it was written by John Fahey, and their two versions were quite different, but that had bits and pieces of both of them. So every once in a while, that song crosses my radar again, and I think, wow, I haven't played that in years. It's really fun though. So, okay, what I want to talk about today is back to a quick review of intervals. Hopefully, this will only take 2 minutes. Over the last month or so, I was talking about intervals and their inversions, and understanding that any two notes that are one distance apart, either a second, a third, or a fourth, particularly the first three intervals, if you invert them, they become the other three intervals, a seventh, a sixth, and a seventh. So two notes that are a second apart, again, if you turn them over, they become a seventh. And if you turn two notes that are a third apart, if you invert them, they become a sixth. And if they were a major one to begin with, major second, they become a minor one. And if they were a minor one, they become a major one. So a minor second, like A to B flat, half step, if I turn it over, it's B flat to A, is a major seventh. Boy, is that dissonant. That's because it's just a half step less than an octave. So that's the sum. Oh, and then fourths and fifths are really important because they're never called major or minor. They're called perfect if they're the note that is in the scale. And the guitar is a good example of an instrument tuned in perfect fourths, mostly, with the exception of the second string. So again, if you know your notes on especially the E and the A string, like you should know the third fret is G. Well, a fourth from G is the same note, is at the same fret, one string higher, C. So if you can start getting used to using the guitar to measure fourths, G to C, A to D, and B to E, then of course F to C, G to A, and E to A, D to G, I was getting ahead of myself, and E to A, that's your fourths on the sixth and fifth strings. And then the interval of a fifth would be this, the power chord shape. So we've got that. A little L shape lays out chords 1, 4, and 5 in power chords. Now, the important part, the last part about that is you can use these to also find we've talked a little bit about secondary dominant chords. If I'm playing a song in the key of G, my main chords would be G, C, and D. D would be chord 5, the dominant chord. We almost could consider that the primary dominant chord in a key. But every other chord in the key, chord 2, chord 3, chord 4, 5, and 6, all have their own dominant chord that would be a seventh chord that is 5 a fifth away. So the other day I had a student we were looking for the secondary dominant chord for like E minor. We're in the key of G and we're going to E minor. And we can kind of reverse engineer this and think about, well, the note I'm looking for what would be 5 of E minor, of E. Well, the distance of a fifth would take me to, a fourth would take me to the open fourth string, and the fifth would be here. So here's my fifth of E, and that means it's a B7 chord that I would use because that would be chord 5 in the key of E. Let's see, I think that was mostly what I wanted to do here. I just kind of wanted to give you a refresher on intervals and how, and fourths and fifths, again, when they invert, they become the other. So like here, if I go a fifth from G, I get D, and if I go a fourth from D, I get to G, and there's my octave. 12 frets, because I've gone 2 strings, each string accounts for 5 frets, and then 2 more frets. So you should be able to see that from the 3rd fret of the 6th string to the 5th fret of the 4th string accounts for 12 frets. So again, that's how I can use my 6th string notes that I know, my natural notes, G, A, B, C, D, and E, to find what the notes are on the D string. Okay, that's probably enough of that for now. Let me just get back to playing a few tunes. What else have I been trying to practice? Oh, did I play this one recently? I think I did. Let me think of an original tune I haven't played in a while. I did Jetstream recently. I think I did Paprika. I want to play a little bit of Paprika. There we go. Forgot I was going to repeat that part. Forgot which part of it. There we go. Part 2. Wow, this is I just put new strings on this guitar earlier today, a couple hours ago, and it's that same thing. It's like every time you do that, it sounds so much better. Put on Santa Cruz strings today. I had a spare one set of those left floating around the house. So anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here because I want to get. I got a lot of stuff to put on my list of things to take tomorrow. So it's really turned into a much bigger production than I thought. We've got 6 guitar players playing, 6 of our Totally Guitars family, and we hope to get video of that out for everybody over the next couple of weeks as things evolve. And hope everybody has a good weekend. We're heading into the end of October. Can't believe it's here. Next time I see you, I think will be November 1st. So in the meantime, keep playing and keep those nails sharp and polished.